Alright, boys, there's no better way to start off this summer than with a universal installer for all versions. This is going to be a great benefit to all of us as a mod developer, as a normal user. It's yes! Now, I didn't just create this overnight, I've been working on this a little bit throughout the semester, but either way, let's dive into it. So you're going to want to download this off of a post I have linked in the description, which is a forum post on the Project Restoration website. Which Project Restoration is all about this kind of stuff, rebuilding and refining the old times so that it's playable again. Um, the source code is also on GitHub on that forum post if you want to look at that and help contribute to it in some weird form. Um, but nonetheless, it's fully working as far as I know. If you have any issues, please report them. Let's jump into this. I have my installer here. That is a very large window. So let's get rid of 1.0 because that's garbage now. You're going to want to have your installer in the same file as the rest of your things that you're trying to install. So this will open up and select the version you want to install on. Oh, there's nothing here because I have cleared out all of my versions of Minecraft to show you how to properly use this. So the first thing you need to do is download the version you want to install upon. And just because of this channel and what I do, beta 1.7.3. So we're going to have to create a profile first to be able to download that version. I cannot download it with my installer, at least currently. So we got this up and running, and there we go. Beta 1.7.3 is now installed. The installer will detect that installed on your directory. So select that, and then it'll open up, where you're at here. So we'll select what we want to do. First, we'll start out real basic, just install Optifine. That's all we're going to do. Optifine is, oh, sad face. Okay, apparently I had a little bit of a faulty, not piece of code, but faulty jar. So this one should work. Try that again. Beta 1.7.3. We'll select Optifine, open up, and install. So since Optifine is a very simple mod, I mean, if you go inside of here, the files are literally, go directly into the jar. There's no pre-setup or anything. It has no idea what it's supposed to be called. So you just call it, I'm just going to call it Opti 1.7.3. And there we go. So what this will do is create a version inside of your Minecraft directory that you can select. So we'll have to create a new profile. We'll just call it Opti. And next to beta 1.7.3, you'll see Opti 1.7.3. So once we play this, the mod should be installed. Launched fine. Let's go to Arc of Time, one of my favorite worlds, and let's go to our options and video settings. And here you go. Here's all the Optifine settings. So the mod is installed. Whoops. Oh, that's okay. And I can also do that zoom in thing that's on Optifine. So there you go. Optifine's installed just like that. So you will have to create a profile or two along the way, but that's all you really have to do on your end. The rest is done by the installer. So let's go beyond a simple mod. Let's use New Frontier Craft. Now, you can also see that it detects the Optifine 1.7.3, and you can install upon that too if you so wished. But again, New Frontier Craft is for 1.7.3. So when we open this and install it, you will notice that it does not ask for a name and the install is successful. That is because I have it pre-set up in New Frontier Craft 1.8.5. In the game directory, it has a version and it has a JSON for the version. The installer detects that and says, oh, this is what it's actually called. Now you can use this as a mod, a modder or developer, by setting up your own JSON. Let's say you want to import some libraries from the modern game that don't normally come with the old game, or whatever you want to do with how it automatically sets up stuff for the launcher. It'll detect your JSON. It will name it that. And you get all those extra libraries. I mean, New Frontier Craft needs those extra libraries from the modern game so that it has authentication. So what's going to happen is because I have it set up through the JSON, let's see, create a new profile, New Frontier Craft. The release date in the JSON is actually when I released 1.8.5, which is much more recent than beta 1.7.3, so it's way up there instead. So we can save that and play New Frontier Craft. And boom. And there's that beautiful music. So one thing I need to address, there's two things I need to address that are broken right now in the current just state of things. Is one, sounds are now broken. Windows, or Microsoft, not Windows, has lowered, or I mean, I guess you could still technically call it Mojang. They stopped their download of the old sounds. So now I'm going to have to figure out a new way around that, because if you download beta 1.7.3 right now, it's going to be silent because they no longer have their servers up online for automatically downloading the sounds. Another thing is that, let's say I'm about to install Technic, which requires Modloader. And let's say, because of this installer, you go gung-ho, it's like, yes, I finally get to play these things after so long, and you install it on your modern launcher, and it doesn't work. Well, that's because Modloader for the old versions is broken right now, because it uses URIs, and that changed in Java 8, so anything with old usage of URIs is broken. Um, Now, I have created a temporary Modloader fix. I don't know if this works for everything yet. I won't release it quite yet, but eventually, probably within this week, I will release a whole slew of Modloader fixes for certain versions. And this is where the installer comes into play again, because the installer can, as you saw, install multiple things at a time. So with Technic, um, now we could put in Modloader beta 1.7.3 first, but that's already inside Technic. So we'll use Technic first, and then we can add another mod to install on top of that. And we'll put my Modloader fix on top of Technic, which works for Technic in 1.7.3, but not any other version. And then we install it. So it'll install in the order that you put it in. So you can just keep adding mods if you so wished. But it's just going to install Technic first, and then install the Modloader fix on top of that. Now, Technic is a big mod, so it's going to take a little while to extract. Again, there's no pre-setup or anything with Technic because it's the old version. So we'll just call it Technic 1.7 or Technic B 1.7.3. And there we go. So we'll create a Technic profile. Oh, no, we don't want 1.12.2. So again, Technic 1.7.3 will be down here with these guys, since there's no pre-setup. And that should work. Without that Modloader fix, this wouldn't even start. So here's my Technic world that I've generated temporarily, and here you go. You can see, there's a freaking, I don't even know, I think it's supposed to be a baby tiger, and fox, and here's the village with villagers inside of it. If I go back here, I'm starting to set up a little Technic pipe thing with the build craft. This is Technic. I mean, working fine. Of course, Technic back in this day was very unstable, so it occasionally just crashes, but that's just because Technic is being Technic. And yeah, you can install multiple layers of mods. That's going to be really good for us developers, because then I could actually have New Frontier Craft have it required that you install Buildcraft first and then New Frontier Craft. But the cool thing with this is it's just 2 or 3 clicks and that happens. It's not like you have to go into the jar and install Buildcraft first. And that makes it much easier for me because, including Buildcraft's code in New Frontier Craft, unless I have permission, is kind of illegal. Uh, and for any of you who are trying to make mod packs or a mod that goes over top of a mod pack or anything, I mean, this is going to be really cool for both the user and the modder. I could get some more descriptive stuff about how to set up that automatic version detection and how you can use your JSON on the forum eventually, but yeah, I believe that's all. Now, let's say you do have a mod, a really old mod with some author who was very unconventional with their setup. Like Technic's setup is very conventional because it has like, directory and jar. Um, and also, notice how I have it called Technic zip. That's because it was originally in a RAR file. Um, my installer will not use RAR files, only zips. So just take it out of a RAR, put it into a zip, and you'll be fine. Um, but here, directory and jar, those are very easy to detect. My installer sees those things and knows exactly what to do with them. Um, when you have something like this where it's just class files, it's like, oh, yeah, that's just for the jar file. But let's say you have something very unconventional that your mod author did, and instead of calling it jar, he just called it install or something, and that's gonna make uh, my installer question where it's supposed to go, and it's probably not going to put it in the right spot. So just look at this. This is a really good way of a basic example of if you just want to reformat the zip file for proper installing. Normally stuff just goes in the directory or jar. My installer can also detect if something is called resources instead of just, or the directory as a whole. It'll detect the resources and then put that inside the directory. Uh, but this is a very basic setup of how my thing detects it. Sometimes people, instead of calling it jar, called it like Minecraft. Um, Usually that didn't mean the directory, so it chooses to put the Minecraft files into the jar. But anything outside of that might be unconventional, and report those things to me. I'll try to make my installer more and more broader as time goes on for installing many different types of setups that mod creators have done over time. Um, like for example, let me open up this. You can see that this has the word jar in it. This has dir or directory in it. It knows what to do with these two. Um, so yeah, that's how the thing works. I cannot guarantee in 100% of it working for all sets as defined, but yeah, report any issues. I'm sure there's going to be a couple things some people find about either installing or the installer itself that is buggy, but as far as I know, it's got everything covered. This is totally free to distribute. Its source is open on GitHub. I mean, if you just want to hand this to your friend without a actual download, I don't care. It's totally free, open source, um, all of the above. It's under the GNU public license, but you can distribute it as much as you want. If you've made some cool stuff for old versions, old times, please put it on projectrestoration.freeforums.net. That is our mission.